At the end of the last decade, in 2009, Kenyans were just about 42 million in number. As we prepare to welcome a new decade, the population now stands at 47.6 million. With the increase in numbers, so too have social ills been on the rise. The youth have borne the brunt of this situation, with many afflicted by alcoholism, drug addiction and mental illness, while others have become mothers at a young age or have been preyed upon by those with a duty to ensure their safety. Leila Mohammed looks back at some of the social stories that shook the nation over the decade.
The dawn of a new decade was ushered in with pomp and color, each one hopeful for better things to come their way. While some have lived to experience change in their lives, others were not as fortunate. Many have since departed the earth. Others are alive, but hope in life has died, snuffed out by the darkening shadow of challenges in their lives. For many youth, lack of jobs and a steady income has been one of the biggest challenges over the past decade.
Na kazi yao ni kunywa pombe tu, na nikawaambia watulime, wanakataa.
Thousands have graduated from institutions of higher learning but struggle to find a place in the crowded job market. With many appointments favoring the aged, many youth have been left feeling, well, left out.
But we only giving out someone one job as chair of an organization, that won't solve the unemployment problem.
Both the Kibaki and Uhuru-led governments ran their presidential campaigns with the promise of creating over 500,000 jobs, only to change tact halfway during their terms. Both leaders stated the need to create an environment where youth can be job creators via the blue-collar economy.
President Kenyatta and his government must sit up and begin to think hard about what this portends for this country.
The current government is undertaking an internship program to give graduates the all-important work experience. While some have found a way to put bread on the table,
if assisted, I promise total productivity in this country.
Others have turned to addictions. In the middle of the decade, a national campaign to get youth, especially from central Kenya, off the bottle began, with the government declaring the problem a disaster.
Wakati nilifutwa kazi ya serikali, nikawa na stress mingi.
President Uhuru Kenyatta took on that battle head-on with the hope of turning the tide in the region. Since then, rehabilitation of young men has been a priority, with many feeling the impact of the problem.
So I was also afraid, because a drunkard person can do anything.
As many battled the bottle, others found solace in something harder and more damaging, especially the coast. And while government has responded by trying to create more rehab centers, many keep falling back to the vice.
Hawa vijana kuja kula madarati ni kazi hakuna.
But it hasn't been all doom and gloom. Many young people have made great strides even in the darkest of times. Kenya's sportsmen and women have kept our flag flying high internationally, with the stars of some artists shining bright. The pressures of poverty have turned young girls into mothers before their time. Sometimes they've been lured by gifts as basic as sanitary pads, which young girls are unable to afford.
It is better the parent starts talking about sex to the child, and also the teacher at school starts teaching the child, so the child understands her body.
Even as civil society calls for paying closer attention to children to avoid such terrible acts. The new decade is just days away. Many will be hoping that society will be more vigilant to guard the vulnerable against predators. They hope too that a bigger economy that is better managed will lure the Kenyans forced to seek comfort in the beer bottle or a shot of hard drugs. In 2029, there will be millions more Kenyans and even more younger people. Will there be less social ills and more hope for the nation? Well, we can only hope. Leila Mohammed, NTV.